Hi everyone, it's tanyaMFK here with your 52 weeks of momentum lesson recap. This is week 15. If this is your first time here, then welcome. My name is Tanya Marie Figueres-Kreisinger, more easily known as tanyaMFK. I am a member of Benjamin Hardy's 52 Weeks of Momentum course, and I come here every week to share the insights, the lessons, the things that I'm learning, so you can get a piece of the momentum yourself. This is in no way a substitute for the course, and what I'm going to talk about here does not hold a candle to the amount of resources that we get by being part of the group. But if you did miss the sign up, then you can hang out here and at least get a piece of your own momentum this year until next year, right? So as I mentioned, we are in week 15, and I'm actually super excited because I just came back from 6 months in Southeast Asia, and I'm just getting settled back here in Czech Republic. And I am going to publicly commit to make sure to have my videos on time and keep my momentum up moving forward as well. And with that said, we are talking about public commitments. Coincidence? I think not. So, a great quote that Gandhi has actually is happiness is when what you think, what you say, and what you do are in harmony. And Benjamin Hardy put it a little more simply. He says, it's when your inner worlds and outer worlds match, right? So when you have some idea going on in here and you're working towards something, when it matches what you're doing on the outside, your actions, what you're saying, what you're living, that when that harmony is there, that's when we're really our happiest. That's when we're living with the way we say we want to live and the way we're intending to, right? So public commitments themselves kind of have a bit of a forcing function. And if you've been hanging out with us for the last couple weeks, months, or whatnot, we've mentioned forcing functions a lot. It's something that Benjamin Hardy talks about in his articles. And it's not a concept he created. And I don't remember where it came from, but forcing function itself is really just that. Doing something, setting something up that forces you to kind of do the work, to jump into it. And that could be as simple as paying for the gym membership and the trainer that makes you show up for the gym. Something that, as dramatic as quitting your job. So you have to move forward into your new business idea, right? Those are examples, extreme examples of forcing functions, right? But public commitments can do the same thing. And I think we're all pretty familiar with that, New Year's resolutions, whatnot, putting it out there publicly kind of does that as well. But Benjamin Hardy also mentioned another way of looking at it, and that was through judgment. And the way he explained it was, good or bad, the way humans tend to act is through judgment, judging others, but it's also how we judge ourselves. And so when we are doing the things that we want to do, when we were putting, publicly committing to things outside, then we start to do those actions. And the more we do those actions, we start to judge ourselves as that person. So if we are saying that we want to work out, and we start to work out, then we're going to start to judge ourselves as a person who works out. And we're going to start to see ourselves as a person who works out. And that goes the same for, achieving goals or whatever it is that you are doing. You're going to start to see yourself as someone that achieves. So, what you're going to do is you start to be this person. You start to do the things that this person would do. And eventually you're going to have the life that this person would have, right? This is the be, do, have. We've talked about this many, many times. A lot of people think we have to have something first in order to do it, in order to be it. But it's really backwards. We need to be that, encompass that, and then we can do the things that that person would do or thing would do, whatever entity, whatever it is that you're trying to do. And that's how we have those things. We don't have to have it first. We actually need to be that first. All right, so that goes right with the be, do, have. And another way of looking at this, or calling this instead of maybe judging, is really self-signaling. By doing these things, we're giving ourselves these little signals to keep being this person we want to be, to keep doing these actions. And this is another thing that public commitments helps us do, helps us be part of. So we've really been challenged this year and this quarter to really look. We started with our year goals, then we started looking at bucket lists, and then just recently, if you've been sticking around too, you'll notice we've been talking about sprint goals, like things you can do in the next 30 to 90 days. So with all of this, we've now been challenged to publicly commit it, to tell people about it, to talk about it, to ask for support, to put it in social media, to be everywhere about it. And now again, not in like some weird judgmental way where you're out like, I'm going to do this because I'm better than everyone, but in an exciting, asking for support, holding yourself to accountability, allowing others to hold you to accountability type of way, right? Living your inner world and your outer worlds together. And this can be looked at in other ways too. You know, we talk about the authenticity in social media, right? It's a big issue that a lot of people have, and concerns we all have. You know, people are comparing themselves to things that are unusual, that aren't normal, that aren't realistic, right? That aren't realistic, and go, oh my gosh, everyone's got this perfect life. But we know social media, it's just kind of a big farce sometimes. So when we're able to be authentic, we can say, oh my gosh, I'm doing this and I'm struggling and this is what's going on. And we can live that publicly when we let our inner worlds and our outer worlds be together. This is going to help us actually continue to walk the walk, to be and achieve the things that we want to do. All right. So, do this, and not only will you start to see that you're going to get that support, but you're going to surprisingly inspire others. I think a lot of us would be surprised by that. Like, who could I inspire? But we can inspire others, and we can be inspired by others as well. People might share their stories and say, oh my gosh, I remember when I did this and it was so awesome. And you can be inspired by their stories and their triumphs and their falls and losses and all of those things as well. So there's so many benefits to living publicly, to being authentic. So that's really it. That's really the focus. And there is this awesome quote that you may or may not heard, and Benjamin Hardy shared it with us or reminded us of it. And it's actually by philosopher Lao Tzu, and he's like the founder of philosophical Taoism, and it's amazing. It's powerful. So whether you've heard it or not, it always helps to hear it again. So I'm going to tell you right now, it is: watch your thoughts, they become words. Watch your words, they become actions. Watch your actions, they become habits. Watch your habits, they become your character. Watch your character, it becomes your destiny. Bam, right? Like if that's not an old master mic drop, I don't know what is. And that's really it, guys. That's it for the lesson. So keep up your momentum this week. I think of this month, we're up for an amazing year. If you've been following along, all of these tips and these tools and these insights and things we've been learning, they're all just that. They're all just tools to help us live the life we want to live. It's not some magic formula. It's just the things that we've needed and the accountability we've needed to finally do the things we've always wanted to do. So this is your year. This is my year. This is anyone's year who doesn't want excuses and wants to make it happen. And as we talked about, it's not through willpower, it's through choices and environment, right? So yeah, if you've enjoyed this, and you want to learn to, kind of apply this to your entrepreneurial life, then definitely follow me at tanyaMFK on Instagram or Facebook, where we focus these same concepts as well as skill building and things into entrepreneurial sense. And if you like this lesson, then definitely click that subscribe button and you'll be notified of our next one coming up. So thanks so much for hanging out, and I'll see you next week.